Name is Amelia Robinson, and today I'll be reading and discussing a couple poems from Allison Joseph's Confessions of a Barefaced Woman, and then I'll be sharing a few of my imitations based on these poems. Confessions of a Barefaced Woman was one of, if not my favorite text that we read this semester in Professor Megan Marshall's Living Writers course. Some of the overall themes and ideas that it explores are girlhood, specifically black girlhood, as well as a coming of age into womanhood, identity, sexuality, and a lot of other really rich and interesting ideas. If you haven't already, you should definitely check it out and get yourself a copy. Okay, the first poem I want to read to you is called First School Dance. You sway to the music, but stick to the wall. Too shy and self-conscious, alone in the hall. You're no smiling beauty, your brown hair's uncurled, you're thin and flat-chested, an awkward young girl. The couples walk past you as if you're not there, a freshman in high school, you think they don't care. About what you're feeling, about what you see. Will anyone listen? You're no prodigy. I know what it feels like to stand there all night. I wish I could tell you that you'll be all right. But I have no solace for what life might hold. Won't offer the knowledge I know you've been told. That your life will get better, your skin will grow clear, your shape will develop, you'll lose all the fears that keep you from dancing, except in your room. For now, keep your spine straight, don't slouch into gloom. Remember these moments won't matter so much when you've learned your body is worthy of touch. I really love this poem, especially as one of the first poems that introduces you to the book. I just think it perfectly describes that outcast feeling when you're at such a young and vulnerable age. And I love how it's written like a letter to the narrator's past self, or it's just like written about their past self. So I thought it was really cool. So now I'll read my imitation inspired by First School Dance called Homecoming. You soften your body, wriggle to the beat, crowded and overwhelmed by the body heat. You're not such a standout, brown hair and eyes plain, thick yet lacking figure, your body, your bane. Your friends make a circle, a world of their own, as if they would notice if you were alone, and close to loosing tears, close to crying out. False belonging is key to looting self-doubt. I remember that night's fragile performance. I wish I could say now that it all makes sense. I don't have much advice, could still use some now. I won't ply you with hope, a sugary shroud. Defer to our mother, who is always right, who says to hunker down, don't give up the fight. Acknowledge your struggles, learn from them and grow. Observe closely with eyes, a girl simply fallow. The journey makes you strong, the dark moments fuel. Remember you're worthy, and a goddess will rule. So, with my invitation, I wanted to stick to Joseph's use of quatrains, her rhyme scheme, and that alternating 5 and 6 syllable lines, which was definitely a challenge, but it was a fun one that I really enjoyed. I wanted to mirror the experience described in her poem with a similar one of my own, and I wanted to explore similar issues of coming of age, fitting in, feeling isolated, and ending with a kind of positive or hopeful note. The next poem I want to read to you shares the title of the book, Confessions of a Barefaced Woman. Befuddled by makeup's odd apparatus, I feel too strange in it, coated, shellacked, primped to a version of myself I can't wait to wash off, letting bare skin breathe. Clumsy with twisted mascara brushes that look like screws dipped in soot, I fumble to draw lines with brow pencils that come with miniature sharpeners, whose blades shave each pencil to dangerous points. Lipstick has never felt right, too waxy and thick, so heavy I'm always tempted to wipe it off, smear it across my face, like a girl caught playing at her mother's vanity table. Face powder makes me cough and sneeze. Rouge makes me look as if I've slapped my cheeks with big red circles, a refugee from circus college. Some women know those secrets of color, precise geometries that entice in russet and bronze, gold and ruby, deep brooding colors over lips, under arched brows, on lids. I'll admire their artistry from a distance. No wrinkles I never learned to mask will etch their paths across my forehead, around my eyes and mouth. No second skin for me to wipe away. At day's end, nothing to reveal. So what drew me to this poem of Joseph's in particular was again this kind of continued theme of like a coming of age, the awkwardness of youth and finding your way into womanhood and into your identity. I love also too that Joseph talks about that awkwardness with makeup even as an adult. I just love the vulnerability of the narrative and how it digs into makeup as kind of this monolith of womanhood, which is, sometimes seen as like this painted false facade, but it can also be a type of artistry too. Now I'll read my imitation inspired by Confessions of a Barefaced Woman called Confessions of a Cake-Faced Woman. Enamored by a false curtain of painted beauty, I am told I am too young to need such an ornate covering. What is too young to want it? I can't wait to walk into those brightly lit stores where the floor seems so shiny, reflective of the two white lights that pierce and spotlight the aisles and aisles of product. A candy store, pick and choose what I like. Foundation a little too orange, blush a little too pink, eyeshadow a little too cool toned, too cool for a girl like me who is embarrassingly eager. That fatalistic characteristic so common of the young, to desire so strongly that which they hardly know. I dabbled, I mistaked, I perfected. And when I perfected my mask, I find ways even now to continue its perfection. I found that when I went to take it off, I could not remove everything I had so artfully, lovingly put on. It forever remains at the margins of my face, never quite leaving me, never quite clean. So this imitation is a little bit more my own. I followed Joseph's structure of the tercets, but with not as many, because, when you're telling a different story, sometimes you can't always imitate the length exactly. Specifically, I wanted to tell my own story of experiences with makeup, which happened to be kind of the opposite of Joseph's in that I do wear makeup a lot. I didn't used to, but I do now. And I wanted to explore that kind of journey, that kind of different journey as a young woman and my different experiences and different relationship with makeup. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Allison Joseph's brilliant poetry from Confessions of a Barefaced Woman, and to my imitations inspired by her poetry as well. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Living Writers content.